We're starting at 1:30 now instead of at 12:30. Sorry. That's because Ms. Jefferson's having her classes from 12 to 1, and she asked me to accommodate, so we're going to be working starting at 1:30 now. But it's going to be the exact same thing. Our calls are at 9 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 6 o'clock p.m., only change that we're moved from 12:30 to 1:30. Alrighty, so I'm going to send the link to us one more time. That's the classwork and the homework link, and let's get ourselves started. Got a treat for everybody on this first problem. This first problem covers material we have not done, so you're not going to do it. In your packet, feel free to cross it out on the Google form I sent you. Just put whatever you want as long as it's school appropriate. First question we're not going to worry about yet. We haven't had a lesson on this, and so I don't think it makes sense for us to go to this problem right now because I haven't taught the concept. So we're going to skip this first problem here. I'm going to send it one more time because we had a couple people join us. So once again, we are skipping this first problem here. Just write whatever you want in the packet and whatever you want on the Google form. So big surprise for everybody. And now we're going to move on to our second question, which we are actually going to complete. Sorry, and we're also on day 2 of our math packets. That's going to be the second page of math work. All righty, awesome. So question number 2 says the following. The mean weight of the students on the Trail Middle School wrestling team is 150 pounds, an absolute deviation of 10 pounds. We don't have to worry about this. This won't be relevant for this problem. That's in there to sort of throw students off. The mean weight of the students on the Burlington Middle School wrestling team is 130 pounds, mean absolute deviation of 10 pounds. By how many pounds is the mean weight of the students on Trail's team greater than the mean weight of the students on Burlington's team? So, Trail's team. Before we do that, what is the mean? What is the mean? What does the mean represent? What does the mean represent? Please chat that into our little box here. What does the mean represent? What does it tell us? What information does the mean give us when we have a problem? Right, the mean is going to be a number, excellent. And what is that number going to represent? Right, it's going to include the number of people, excellent. Let's get a little bit more specific though, good start. Right, the mean is going to be the average, but what is the average? What is the average? We have the mean is the average, and this can include the number of people. It's going to be a number as well. But what does the average actually show us? So average is not going to be most often. That's going to be the mode. The mode is most often. But I like how we're thinking about our different ways of estimating and looking at data. That's excellent. What is the average going to show us? I'm looking for one more answer from somebody. What does the average tell us? What does the average tell us? A little confused. Let's sit tight for just a second. What does the average tell us? Right, it's going to tell us our typical value. And how do we calculate the mean or the average? Sorry, that was not worded well. All right, to calculate the average, we're going to add up all of the data that we're given. We're not given any in this problem, but that would be, say, all the numbers added together. Excellent. They're going to divide it by how many numbers there are. I'm going to actually take that answer from you, and we're going to send it to everybody. We add all the numbers up and then divide by how many numbers there are. I'm going to clear the screen because this is a little bit messy right now. All righty. All right, so now let's take a look back at this problem. The Trail Middle School wrestling team has an average of 150 pounds, and the Burlington wrestling team has an average of 130 pounds. How many pounds is the mean weight of the students on the Trail team greater than the mean weight of the students on Burlington's team? So, what operation do I have to put here? What operation do I have to put here in order to find out how many more pounds the Trail team has than the Burlington team? What operation should I use? I'm not doing butterfly method here. What operation should I use? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or I don't know how to do division sign, division. Which operation do you think I should use to find out how many pounds the mean weight, by how many pounds the mean weight of the students on the Trails team greater than the mean weight? So I'm seeing multiplication, I'm seeing addition, I'm seeing division, I'm seeing subtraction, I'm seeing a bunch of different answers here. The answer is going to be subtraction. Going to subtract the average weight on Burlington's team from the average weight on Trail's team. So 150 minus 30 is going to be 20. And our final answer for this problem is going to be 20. The average weight on Trail's team is 20 pounds greater than the average weight on Burlington's team. All right, make sure we have this written down, put it in the little form that I gave us. I can send that out again. Alrighty, awesome. So let's take a look at question number 3. Excuse me. I see a bunch of us just joined us. So I'm gonna send the link out to everybody again. Oops, sorry. Is that gonna be? I'm gonna send the link out to everybody one more time. I can go over how to use it again at the end. So we're looking at here is, sorry, let me change my pen color. The students in 2 7th grade classes were asked how many text messages did they send over the past weekend. The data was collected and the dot plots was created for each class. We did this a little bit earlier in the year, so we're reviewing it now. What values do Class A's distribution and Class D's distribution overlap? So a dot plot tells us how many people voted for each option, kind of like a survey. Excuse me, I almost got on my throat today. Kind of like a survey. So in Class A, 2 people said that they send out 0 text over the course of a weekend. And in Class B, 0 people said they sent out 0 text over the weekend. So that's what this tells us. This tells us how many people sent out however many texts there were. Alrighty. So in Class A, we had 2 people send out 0 texts, but in Class B, we had 0 people send out 0 texts. So there's going to be no overlap here. So we're going to cross these out. In Class A, we had 1 person send out 1 text, and we had 0 people send out 1 text in Class B. So we're going to exit both those out. Please message me a question if you have one. Happy to answer them. In Class A, 4 people said that they had 2 people send. In Class A, 4 people sent 2 text messages, and in Class B, 1 person sent 2 text messages. So this is going to be overlap. There is overlap between Class A and Class B because both groups had at least 1 person send out 2 text messages. Going to be same thing with 3 text messages. That's going to be overlap. Some people are asking, what is overlap? Overlap means that in both groups, there is at least 1 data point for the value. So for 0, there's 2 data points for Class A, but none for Class B. So there's going to be no overlap there. For 1 text, 1 person in Class A sent out 1 text, and 0 people in Class B sent out 1 text, so there's no overlap there. However, when we get to 2 texts, here we have 4 people and we have 1. So therefore, there is going to be overlap because at least 1 person sent out 2 texts from each class, then there is overlap. Does that make more sense? Does overlap make more sense now? So it means that at least 1 person from each class sent out the number of texts. Awesome. So is there overlap with 4 texts? Is there overlap with 4 texts? Is there overlap with 4 texts? I'm seeing a lot of, right, I'm seeing a lot of yeses rolling. Yes, there is going to be overlap with 4 texts because at least 1 person from each class sent out 4 texts over the course of the weekend. Is there overlap with 5 texts? Is there overlap with 5 texts? Right, there is also going to be overlap with 5 texts because we had at least 1 person each class sending out 5 texts. Is there overlap with 6 texts? Is there overlap with 6 texts? What do we think? I'm going to send this out one more time for us. Is there overlap with 6 texts? Seeing some no's, I'm seeing a couple yeses. Right, there's not going to be overlap. We don't have any data points. We have no data points right here. So that means that there cannot be overlap between the 2. What about 7? What about 7 texts? Is there overlap with 7 texts? Awesome, right? There's no overlap here because no one from class A sent any texts. So therefore, for what values do class A's distribution, class D's distribution overlap? It's going to be for values 2, 3, 4, and 5. Our answer is going to be 2, 3, 4, and 5. Awesome. We have a bunch of people on this call. That's very exciting. So 2, 3, 4, and 5 is going to be the distribution there. Yes, this is in the packet. This is on the second page of math in the packet. Second page of math in the packet. Next time, look at the page number for us. All righty. Awesome. Let's take a look at question number 4. I really like this question here. Julie wanted to compare the mean number of sales in a week between Coffee R Us and Coffee Depot. She used sales statistics from the sales book. So we have Coffee R Us, this is their sales, and we have Coffee Depot, which is their sales. What is the average sales difference between both shops? So here, we have to 1, find the average of both, and then 2, we have to compare the averages. Sorry, my handwriting's not super neat. It's kind of hard to write with this thing. All righty. Thank you very much for joining us, those of us that just did. So we're on question 4. And first, let's take a look at Coffee R Us. How am I going to calculate the average sales for Coffee R Us? How can I calculate the average sales for Coffee R Us? All right, we're going to add up. As we said, I'm going to paste an answer here from someone who got it. Going to show call their work. Oops, sorry. You have to add up all the money that they had and then divide it by 7 because they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days worth of sales. So we're going to add up each of their sales. That's going to be 36 plus 41 plus 63 plus 42 plus 48. I'm going to run out of room here. Plus 50, just ignore the line, plus 53 over all the days that they sold stuff. So that's going to be 7. So independently, I want everyone to add this up, find out what this top row is going to be equal to. 36 plus 41 plus 63 plus 42 plus 48 plus 50 plus 53. What's that going to be equal to? What is that going to be equal to? $36 plus 41 plus 63. Feel free to use a calculator. Feel free to do it by hand, whatever you want. We got one that got it. Got one that got it. Gonna wait for at least 2 more people to get it. One that got it. Let's wait for at least 2 more people to get it. At least 2 more folks. All right, we got one more that got it. Excellent. Just one more. Just add these numbers up here. And looks like we got it. Perfect. Excellent job. So our answer is going to be 333. If we add these up, their total sales over the course of 7 days was $333. We're going to divide that by 7. We're going to divide that by 7. So let's approximate this to the nearest hundredth. What is 333 divided by 7? Let's approximate this to the nearest hundredth. 333 divided by 7. What is it? Round to the nearest. Right, it's going to be 47 point what? 47 point what? All right, 47.57. Excellent, bunch of people got that. Great. Now, let's compare that to, I'm going to do this in blue, Coffee Depot. Let's compare this to Coffee Depot. Sorry, I'm going to move this over here. Coffee Depot. And I'm going to make the line a little bit over here. All righty, excellent. So, to find the average for Coffee Depot, we once again have to add up all of our data points. So we're going to do 70 plus 73 plus 78 plus 80 plus 75. Hopefully I have enough room here. plus 85. Oh, just gonna have just enough room. Plus 9 over, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. Awesome, I'm gonna have 7 again. So what is this top row gonna be? What is their total sales going to be over 7 days? We got one that got it already. We can get the total sales over the course of 7 days. We got one that got it. I'm waiting for at least 2 more. What's my total sales over the course of 7 days? We need to add all these up. Wait for at least 1 or 2 more, folks. I'm sure we're all participating. Yep, got one more. Actually, more. We got about 16 people in this group. Going for at least 1 or 2 more, right? We had 1 more, get it? Awesome, right? It is going to be 530 divided by 7. I saw someone got 532. Just check your math there. You probably see me a small calculation error. 530 over 7, which we divide 530 over 7, and what are we going to get? Let's round this to the nearest hundredth again. Excellent. We have 75 point what? 75 point what? 75 points. All right, excellent. 5. Actually, sorry, no, it's not 57. All right, should be 75.71. Sorry, 75.71 is going to be our answer there. So, to find the average sales difference, going to do this one in black. Average sales difference, we're going to take Coffee's R Us. Sorry, my mistake. We're going to take Coffee Depot and subtract Coffee R Us's average sales from that. So we're going to take 75.71, our number rounded to the nearest hundredth, minus 47.51. And what is the average sales difference between the shops? What is the average sales difference between the shops? The average sales difference between the shops going to be, what do we think? What do we think it's going to be? Right, we're going to have to subtract. We're taking the average amount from Depot and subtracting the average amount from For Us for that. We're going to subtract it to find the difference. Difference means subtraction in average sales between the shops. The difference in the average sales between the shops. Great question. Math on this one. So we got a couple of different answers here from people. Make sure you're checking your math. Right, I'm getting approximately 28.2 as my answer. So the average sales difference between both shops is going to be around $28.20. Maybe a little rounding difference, that's okay. Or it could be around 28.14, depending on how you round it. These are both going to be acceptable answers for us. Alrighty, so that means that each day, Coffee Depot sells on average $28.14 more dollars of coffee. Average that much more coffee. Oh, I sent it to the wrong person. Should send this to everybody. My bad. Each day, Coffee Depot sells an average of $28.14 more coffee each day. Alrighty, awesome. Let's take a look at our final question for the day. And it'll be on your merry way. So, Ms. Williams made the line plots below to compare her class scores of the geometry pretest. I'm lagging, I'll give it a second to load. Let me check my Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi looks okay, so I'm gonna keep going here. Ms. Williams made the line plots below to compare her class scores of the geometry pretest and the geometry post-test. So here we have pre-test, and here we have our post-test. What conclusion can Ms. Williams make about the performance on the geometry pretest and the geometry post-test? One sec, the person who asked what the answer to question number 3 was. So, A, the scores on the pretest had a higher median than the scores on the post-test. B, the post-test scores had a higher mean than the pretest scores. C, the pretest scores had a greater range than the post-test scores. And D, the post-test scores had a greater mean absolute deviation than the pretest scores. This one's going to be incorrect. We're not going to worry about it. We didn't learn about absolute deviation yet. And I don't have a lesson plan for that right now. We're just reviewing some stuff. So it's going to be either A, B, or C. Just let us know now. So we're going to test each answer. We have A right there. Then we're going to do B in blue. And then we're going to do C in, C in black. Alrighty, let's take a look at A. How do I calculate the median? How do I calculate the median? How do I calculate the median of a set of data? Right, so first, we need to order the numbers. Then what do I do after I order the numbers? What do I do after I order the numbers? Right, and then we're going to find, excellent, I'm going to copy this answer here. You use, you line the numbers, and then you cross out one from each side. So let's take a look at our geometry pretest. Our numbers are already ordered, luckily enough, excellent. So we're going to cross out our smallest value here, 2, and our greatest value here, 6. Let's cross out our second smallest value, 3, cross out our second greatest value, 5. Another 3, another 5. Left with 2 numbers left, but luckily they're both on the same number. So the geometry pretest median is going to be 4. So let's compare that to the geometry post-test median. So our smallest value is going to be 5 this time, and our greatest value is going to be 9. We have 2 of each of those. Next, our second greatest value is 6, and our second smallest value is 6, and our second greatest value is 8. Same thing, 6, we're going to cross out an 8, cross out a 6, cross out a corresponding 8, cross out a 6, cross out a corresponding 8, and then we can cross out one of the 7s each. We have 2 left, they're both 7. So our post-test median is going to be 7. Our post-test median is going to be 7. So is A correct? The scores on the pre-test had a higher median than the scores on the post-test. Did the scores on the pre-test have a higher median than the scores on the post-test? Right. Most people are getting the right answer here. Awesome, a bunch of people got it. Right, A is going to be incorrect. The post-test median is higher than the pre-test median, so A is going to be absolutely incorrect. Let's take a look at B. The post-test scores had a higher mean than the pre-test scores. So for this one, we have to find the mean of the set of data. So let's do the pre-test mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to add up each of our values here. We get 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6. We can divide that by the amount of scores we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. So let's find the total number, the total value of all the scores. Total value of all the scores. We're adding up 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6. I see a couple people getting it. Right. It's going to be 32. If you didn't get that, check your math. You may have put the numbers into the calculator wrong. Divide that by 8. So our pretest mean is going to be 4. now. Realizing I've run out of room here, so we're going to continue part B. I think I should have enough room. No, I'm not going to. Oops, sorry. I'm going to continue part B over here. So I ran out of room on my page. So the post-test mean is going to be, so I'm going to turn our cameras off here. Our post-test mean is going to be all of our post-test values added up together. So that's going to be 5 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6. I'm not going to do all these because I don't have enough room over here. Divide that by the total number of scores that we had, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I'm going to make sure no one's on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Divided by 16. So we're going to add up all our scores here. Let's please stop turning on the cameras. Thank you very much. So adding up all of our post-test scores here and dividing it by 16. All right, if you keep turning on the cameras, unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you to stop doing that. So we're going to have all of our post-score tests here, adding up 2 5s, 4 6s, 4 7s, 4 8s, and 2 9s together. And what's that going to be? What is that going to be? What do we think? What's that going to be? What is the total post-test? What's the total going to be? What do we think? Give us another 30 seconds to add these up. Still waiting on at least one. Still waiting on at least one here. Gotta add these up. Answer. I'm getting some different answers. Those aren't quite what I'm looking for. Not quite. So let's do this together, I guess. So 5 and 5 is going to be 10. 6, 12, 18, 24. 7, 14, 21, 28. 8, 16, 24, 32. And 18. So let's add these all together. We're going to do 10 plus 24 plus 28 plus 32 plus 18. And that's going to give us 112. I saw one person got it. Kind of 112 is going to be our total over 16. 112 over 16 is going to give us 7. So, did the pretest scores have a higher mean? Sorry, excuse me. Did the post-test scores have a higher mean than the pretest scores? Did the post-test scores have a higher mean than the pretest scores? Yes, they absolutely did. The post-test score mean is 7, and the pretest score mean is going to be 4. So that means the post-test score did have a higher mean than the pretest score. Even though we know that B is correct, let's still do step C as well. So we're looking for the range of the pretest and the post-test scores. How do I find the range? 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 What do we think? Right, it's going to involve subtraction. What am I subtracting? Exactly. I'm going to copy this answer from somebody. They got it exactly right. Subtract the greatest value for the least value from the greatest value. Exactly. So our greatest value for the pretest, sorry, it looks a little bad here. My greatest value from the pretest is going to be 7. Subtract my smallest value, which is 2. Sorry. Greatest value is 6. Sorry, I misread that. Subtract my smallest value, which is 2. and that's going to be 4. And then my post-test, my range is going to be, my greatest value is 9 minus my smallest value of 5. 9 minus 5 is also going to be 4. These two have the exact same range of 4, so therefore C is going to be incorrect, and our final answer is going to be B. Alrighty, that's going to be it for this question. That's going to be it for today as well. Feel free to, I'm going to hang out for a little bit. I'm going to send the links one more time to everybody. Feel free to hang out for another second. Going to be rolling out some new stuff tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. Going to have us happen on iReady starting tomorrow. Yep, going to hang out for a couple more minutes and happy to answer any questions that people may have.